in the business. They also provide well pump system service, routine service, and emergency service for when you need it. They've been doing that since 1974. At Guthrie and Fry, they know that better water makes a big difference. The teams I trust are at Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning.
For senior living where comfort meets community, welcome to the Waters of Pewaukee, an experience designed with you in mind. Enjoy beautiful, spacious apartments, chef-prepared meals, and enriching daily activities that bring joy and purpose. Whether it's independent living, assisted care, or memory support, you'll find a compassionate staff, modern amenities, and the peace of mind you deserve at the Waters of Pewaukee. You're not just moving in, you're coming home. Schedule a tour and learn more today at thewaters.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
Good morning. It's 10:01. We have 69 degrees. It's going to be partly cloudy, warm, and humid today with just a chance of showers and storms this afternoon and this evening. High today, 78. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. The ACLU of Wisconsin petitions the state's high court to make it illegal to hold ICE detainees in Wisconsin jails. The lawsuit claims sheriffs from Walworth, Brown, Kenosha, Sauk, and Marathon counties are voluntarily holding people for an additional 48 hours after they should be released under state law. The extra hold time allows for immigration agents to get custody of individuals so they can be deported. The organization claims that ICE sends detainers even for people with no criminal records or people who still have charges pending in Wisconsin courts. President Trump pressuring the Justice Department, specifically Attorney General Pam Bondi, to go after political opponents like former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. ABC News chief legal analyst Dan Abrams says it's unprecedented for the president to get deeply involved in the DOJ's legal processes.
You have cases that have been investigated. I mean, I've heard some people saying publicly, well, what's wrong? We should have an investigation. There has been an investigation. The president doesn't like the results of the investigation. And as a result, he is now moving in to put in a new U.S. attorney in Virginia. That's the part about that makes this unprecedented. So when people say, we've heard allegations of politicization before, you need to focus on why this is different, because it is the president stepping in this role.
President Trump has forced out the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia after his team couldn't find any evidence on mortgage fraud allegations against James, and has nominated an attorney who never served as a prosecutor to the position instead. Today, the Trump administration expected to announce a link between taking Tylenol during pregnancy and autism. ABC's Elizabeth Scholze says there are no studies proving that the use of Tylenol carries autism risks for kids.
Researchers say that the rates of Tylenol use in pregnancy have actually gone down in recent years, even as autism rates have risen amid increased awareness of the disorder and also widening definition of the spectrum. The CDC does say that 1 out of every 31 8-year-olds had autism in 2022. That's compared with 1 out of every 150 children in the year 2000.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said earlier this year he wanted to find a root cause to autism by this month, but many researchers who've studied autism links for decades say several months isn't enough time. Elhorn police arrest a child for stealing a gun.
The child allegedly broke into a parent's locked bedroom and stole the firearm on Friday. Police located the gun and took the child into custody. Charges are being referred to juvenile authorities for armed burglary, theft of a firearm, possession of a dangerous weapon, and obstructing an officer. School officials indicated that other children were aware of the stolen gun and arrest, and social media posts from other students claimed that the child intended to bring the gun to school. Police say they have no credible evidence of a threat to the school. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A popular Waukesha burger and custard spot making a comeback. Oscars, which was destroyed by fire in 2024, officially rebuilding. Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief Timothy Gibbons tells WTMJ the new restaurant will be even bigger.
So ground was broken last week and work is going. They're hoping to reopen in early 2026. So we talk about that construction season, fingers crossed, that it stays custard weather long enough for them to complete the construction there. The facility is going to be 20% bigger, which is a pretty big increase.
Cause of the original fire was never determined. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 40 points, NASDAQ up 63, S&P 500 up 11. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:05.
At Boucher, we don't just sell cars, we build careers.
For over 45 years, Boucher has been Wisconsin's trusted name in automotive excellence, and today we're growing faster than ever.
Whether you're an experienced professional or just starting out, Boucher is hiring across all departments: sales, service, finance, and more.
Enjoy industry-leading pay, unbeatable benefits, paid training, and a workplace that truly values you. Join the Boucher family, where we ride with you every mile, and your future rides with us. Apply today at Boucher.com.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery, like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
This year, it just feels different.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Listen to WTMJ as the Brewers make their charge to the postseason. Brewers playoff coverage is presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin and featured by Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Catch the final battle of the regular season. The Brewers host the Reds Friday, September 26th through Sunday, September 28th. Get in on Fan Appreciation Night and a tumbler giveaway on Saturday the 27th. Close out the regular season with the crew. Get your tickets at brewers.com.
Start your journey now. Don't wait. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Schedule your free consultation to lose up to 1 pound of fat per day. No drugs, no injections, no exercise. It's safe, fast, and costs a fraction of those injections. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Packers lost for the first time this season. Green Bay let a 10-point lead slip away at a 13-10 loss to the Browns. Packers return to the field next Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys on the road. The Brewers couldn't secure a series win. Milwaukee lost to the St. Louis Cardinals 5-1 on the road. Brewers will continue their road trip tonight against the Padres. They did claim the NL Central crown, clinching its third consecutive division title when the Chicago Cubs lost 1-0 to the Cincinnati Reds on Sunday. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Couple of crashes. One, it looks like actually they are both off right. One is at I-43 south at Atkinson. Again, a crash there blocking the right shoulder. The one on I-41 west at the ramp from Loomis Road has been cleared off. There might still be some slowing in that area. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy, warm, humid, chance of afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms after a high of 78 today. That chance of rain continues overnight with a low 62. Chance of showers tomorrow, high 72. Just a slight chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday. Highs both days around 68 and sunshine on Friday, high of 72. 69 in Madison, 66 in Green Bay, and 69 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
And good morning, everybody. Yes, not Victory Monday, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to have a show. We're going to do 2 hours on politics and other stuff.
Not the Packers. We're not doing 2 hours in the Packers.
We're not going to even
that much.
Other than this brief mention now, we're not even having
We're just going to pretend it didn't happen.
Typically, I have a Packers segment. Not interested today. It left a bad taste in my mouth. Let's leave it at that. Matt Smith, political director, Channel 12.
Moving on.
You have thoughts, though, I'm assuming.
I've got lots of thoughts, which I'll get out at some point the course of the week, and maybe on my next pregame for Packers on ESPN 94.5. But Matt Smith,
Or on
Twitter, which I just took a shot at all the Vikings fans who were trolling the Packers fans yesterday.
Yeah, happy Monday to everyone.
I just lean on my all the world championships that we have, and they have none. All right, Matt Smith, political director, Channel 12, host of Upfront, along with Jaron Jordan. You talked to some candidates, Democratic candidates, for the nomination for governor next year. Who do we start with? Kelderoys. Let's start with Kelderoys.
It's filling up quickly, isn't it? We had 2 last week.
Those Democrats are anxious to get candidates.
Got to get some money, got to get some name ID. So potentially, I mean, I don't know. Everyone has their own scale, right, for these candidates. Potentially 2 more on the liberal side of the Democratic Party when we look at Kelderoys and Francesca Hong, state senator, state representative, getting in the mix with some of the other candidates, both Madison. So, yeah, we'll see.
So you had a chance to talk to both this week. And so both, and we had Fran, I want to say Fran Hong, but we should say State Representative Francesca Hong was here last week. And I asked her for some of the things that she's pinning her campaign on, being paid leave and funding public schools and childcare. How are you going to pay for it? Which is the same question you asked both of them this week. And so when you talked to State Senator Kelderoys, similarly, she was talking about getting creative.
Big ticket items in terms of spending.
So let's hear a little bit from the state senator.
You have to raise taxes to meet your priorities.
Well, I think there's a lot that we can do in getting new revenue sources, like, for instance, legalizing, taxing, and regulating cannabis, the same way that every other state around us has already done. We also have let billionaires and big corporations get away with paying nothing or even getting big bailouts from the state government.
So for sure, higher taxes on people you say who are billionaires and corporations.
Absolutely. I think that's only fair. And you know what? I am proud to stand by that.
So not that dissimilar from exactly what Francesca Hong was saying, too. I mean, the big thing that it seems like we're leaving on the table, which I think a lot of people, regardless of your political leanings, would agree with, is that we're leaving a lot of money on the table when it comes to legalizing cannabis.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be the conversation when we look at the primary is how far to the left does this primary go? What are Democratic primary voters thinking? And how does that then frame with winning a general election in Wisconsin? And when you look at the pollings, when you look at legalizing marijuana, for example, when there is overwhelming support for that, how does that then match with what we're going to see in races in the state assembly and the state senate, where this has been held up by some Republicans?
Is this sort of a hinge on the idea that Democrats might take over one side of the legislature, or maybe both?
I mean, I think they feel confident in that. I mean, I think the state senate, if there's any chamber, is more likely to go into Democratic control than the state assembly, at least this election cycle. You would need 2 pickup seats in the state senate. Democrats would need to win 2 seats currently held by Republicans, 5 seats in the assembly. So it's closer than it's been in a really long time. It just depends on what these districts look like, what voters think, and the candidates that run, quite frankly.
So similarly, Francesca Hong talking about fair taxation when she's talking about who would be paying more in taxes. It wouldn't be across the board. She really is trying to focus on corporations and billionaires.
Could everyone potentially see a tax increase under your plan in Wisconsin?
Right now, my tax plan is working towards building tax fairness. And I think that is going to be defined. We have to figure out how to meet those metrics and select those metrics. So everyone having higher taxes, I don't think that that's going to be something we're working towards at all. That's what we want to avoid. This is about fair taxation.
And we had the representative on our show last week as well. And then Kelderoys will be on the show tomorrow, just so in case you want to hear more from her on what she's talking about as far as this campaign and in the weeks and months ahead, how she sort of sets the table for her campaign to win the nomination. And one of the things that came out this morning, at least I think it was this morning, maybe it was over the weekend because I paid no attention to the news, was this Bill Berrien story linked to some nasty sites.
So it was a new Dan Bice
Daniel
article,
Bice, Journal Sentinel.
And it's kind of typical Dan Bice as far as sleuthing on past actions. It seems like there's more, I don't even know how to describe it without, how would you describe what he found? As far as, it's basically like his following and things that he liked on
he basically
medium.
looked at his activity on these platforms.
Which is a similar to like Substack. It's like a blogging platform. And to me, again, I am not a Republican primary voter, But to me, I look at this, I'm like, just let people like what they like. Like, why is this a story? But I guess I would ask you, Steve, do you think this is a story? Or Matt, have you been able to have had a chance to read this yet?
I have, yeah. So I'll let you two describe since this is your show.
Yeah, and so they're just sexually explicit writers. It's not pornography. It's not like going to a porn site where there's video and images. It's writers talking about different topics that are not super vanilla. We'll put it that way. And it wasn't like he was following them. He quote unquote liked them. But I don't know why this is I don't know. I guess this is politics.
Here's the context I would put it in. I don't care who you are. Most of the people that have watched his campaign have said it's been, very rough and not like orchestrated well. His first couple of interviews were not like thought out well. He didn't have good answers. He didn't really clearly understand his direction of his campaign. So this is one more piece of a puzzle that I don't think spells out success for Bill Berrien. That'd be my take on it from that standpoint. And I think at least the stuff I've seen with Tom Tiffany probably coming in this week, Showman already, I think, polled slightly higher than Berrien. I don't see him being a serious candidate past a few more months. But I could be wrong. I mean, people like the business thing.
Have you guys seen much enthusiasm so far as for Bill Berrien's campaign?
No, I think the initial criticism from Republicans, right? I mean, because we're talking primary voters still kind of, right? I think a larger question toward a general election is still up in the air in terms of how he would poll or do, because there was so much criticism with the Trump criticism, with Nikki Haley supporting her campaign, and all of these issues. I think this just adds fuel for Republicans who didn't like him to pile on ahead of the primary.
So that's sort of a quick update on the candidates in the race for governor. That race, of course, will be collecting steam as we go out throughout this year and to next year. All right, after the break, some ideas on how we might change sort of the way we do elections in Wisconsin. You talked to Republican Representative Scott Krug. We'll get to that and more. Point taken, 620 WTMJ.
All different types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Frank Pasternak and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
No matter what your timeline is, you deserve a journey to paradise with Fox World Travel and Royal Caribbean. When you get the craving for sunshine, poolside fun, and ocean views for miles, there's no reason to miss out. Make the most out of your time with an all-in-one cruise vacation. Get cruise perks you can't even get direct. Let a Fox World Travel cruise expert handle the daunting task of choosing ships, ports, and staterooms. Visit foxworldtravel.com to plan your next cruise vacation.
Drafty windows means wasted money. Call Siding Unlimited today for energy-efficient replacement windows and doors and start saving now. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
Brought to you by IHOP. Go to your happy plates with a $6 IHOP value menu. Available every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max, keeping you updated on culture and creativity.
The Wisconsin Film Office. We can say it out loud. It's going to happen. Academy Award winner John Ridley.
So I'm glad that Wisconsin is getting in the game. I hope they stay in the game. Wisconsin is great because it has so many different looks. It has so many different places. It has places that are untouched. It has places that are incredibly modern.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max. Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ.
Thanks for joining us on this Monday edition of Point Taken. Kristin, Brey, Scaffidi, thanks for all that you do for us, including all the texts. So 855-616-1620 if you have a question for us, or even Matt Smith, journalist from Milwaukee, host of Upfront and Channel 12's political director here in Milwaukee. Upfront, by the way, a great program across the state. Sort of keeps you up to speed on all the things happening in Wisconsin politics and the actions, including the actions of our legislature. And you had Scott Krug on, Republican representative, and big package of election bills. So let's hit the highlights here. Some of them are kind of pretty interesting to me.
So this is the huge package that Republicans are going to introduce this week to try to get in place ahead of the midterms. So first and foremost, in cities that use central count, think like Milwaukee, Green Bay, Racine, some of the larger cities, this would finally allow for what everyone has been calling Monday processing. Clerks could start processing those absentee ballots the Monday before Election Day. They don't count them. They don't tally results. They just start processing. The goal would then be to get results faster on Election Day because we're always waiting for those absentee ballots. In return, in this same package, because the state Senate has not been able to get this bill through, wide bipartisan support in the Assembly, it would attach numerous new security provisions for ballot drop boxes. Republicans are like, listen, look at the state Supreme Court. Ballot drop boxes are here to stay. But we're going to impose some new restrictions like 24-hour surveillance that a municipality must live stream on their website for every drop box.
So my question there is, who's paying for that?
The city.
Yeah, and there, I think we have a clip talking about some of the costs associated with that and some of the reasons why they're doing it.
Supreme Court, we know drop boxes aren't going anywhere either. So people have said, we're okay with the idea of drop boxes as long as we have some standards, as we have some rules in place. There will be some communities where it's hard for them to reach some of these standards. For example, in my home county of Adams County, my town of Adams may have a problem getting 24/7 live streaming of drop boxes available on a website. But that's why we also address that in our security grants bill, too, to make sure that we have a grant program available for communities who may not be able to afford those standards, be able to reach those standards, to make sure everybody's acceptable of the concept of using a drop box.
My only comment on that, and you can react or not react, is that let's not look for ways to allow communities to opt out. If you're really going to be serious about this, this is a reality that we're going to have in the state for a long time.
Yep.
Because we know what the court decisions have said. It's not expensive, like crazy expensive, to have a fixed camera that live streams to something. It's not that expensive.
Basically, put a Ring camera on every drop box.
A Ring camera. It's like, come on, folks. And then make it more secure than that, obviously. But it's like, come on. I like the idea, though, that at least they're thinking about these things because we want secure elections. I'd just, also be curious if they put in things where elected officials will make up stuff about elections, that there's a penalty for that. But, that was just me talking. Because I lived through that nightmare, and I had to listen to Republicans that I respect say things like maybe you should have an election do-over after a presidential election as a serious concept. So maybe that should be something they're talking about. I know you're not going to comment on any of this, Matt.
I can say that's not in there.
All right. So what else? There is what we've all been wanting as far as earlier processing of absentee ballots. There is increased surveillance on drop boxes since that's not going anywhere.
And it would also require a law enforcement officer when those ballots are brought from the drop box to wherever the municipality stores them. It would have to be under an escort of a law enforcement officer.
Because they're not busy enough doing just the regular day's job they have.
It also puts new requirements just in terms of like hours and plans for like disasters or fires or, and stuff like that. And then there's a whole another package of stuff that has to do with Election Day. It just in terms of, let's say there's a dispute at central count or a polling location. Typically now you file a complaint with the Wisconsin Election Commission. It could take weeks. This would put the onus on the chief inspector or the top election official at this polling place to essentially try to settle the dispute on the ground the day of, in the moment. You heard him referencing these grants. He, at least, whether the full Republican body in the legislature supports this, wants to make available grants for municipalities to beef up security in terms of just when we look at security in general, to make sure that these polling locations are safe.
And these would be state-funded grants because we all know that we obviously passed a amendment that says municipalities cannot apply for private grants to help with elections.
State-funded, correct. And I asked him, well, where does the money come from? That's the next $1 million question, right? And he said, listen, there's still some surplus money over. We're going to have a conversation about this, whether it be in the next budget or now, or, this could be down the road. So yes, new security measures in place, but some money to potentially help that could be down the road.
And just a reminder to legislators, if the law of the land is we have ballot boxes, putting in measures or additional legislation that impacts that or provides barriers to that can also be challenged in court. So be careful what you think you're doing here. You remember the famous story of the Wausau mayor, Doug Diney or Diney, whatever his name is, who put on a Halloween.
What happened with that?
It's that investigation
still ongoing.
Still open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he put on a Halloween costume and stole the ballot box, basically.
And they said there is bipartisan support with this.
That was my next question.
A Democrat, Lisa Snodgrass, are going to introduce this together. They said they've worked with Democrats. They said they've at least kept the governor's office advised on the changes. So we'll see where this goes.
Matt Smith, political director, Channel 12. We'll see what's coming up in his work week as a journalist in Milwaukee and host of Upfront. Kristin, Steve, point taken. Thanks for tuning in on this Monday edition. Not Victory Monday. Sad, but still working.
Well, we decided to develop our own mattress line just, I think, purely from a quality standpoint again.
We wanted to go the opposite way the industry was going. The industry was cheapening things, and we didn't believe in that.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
The entire mattress industry has gone to one-sided. We still believe that a two-sided is going to last you longer. You can get more comfort out of it.
5 years from now, 10 years from now, I want them to look back and say, wow, I bought that a long time ago, and I'm still really happy with it. That's true in our mattresses. It's true in our furniture.
PennyMustard.com.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
With over 57 years of experience, family-owned Yutka Fence installs high-quality fencing with residential options, including vinyl, wood, aluminum, chain link, and ornamental fences. Committed to craftsmanship and customer service, Yutka Fence doesn't just build fences, they build relationships based on care, trust, precision, and protecting what matters most. Mention you're a WTMJ fan for 10% off your project. Schedule your free estimate today at yutkafence.com or call 262-859-3226.
It's like you don't want to even do anything anymore. You lay in bed in the morning, putting off the pain. You put off your workouts. You put off your walks. And yard work, that's just not even an option anymore. As we speak, pain is taking away more and more from your life. And unless you take action, it's going to get worse. And that's no way to live. Not when there's a Rejuvenex clinic nearby. Because the power of Toradol, joined with the wonder of hyaluronic acid, can alleviate your pain. And it can allow you to start living your life again. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. At as low as $65 per injection per joint, Rejuvenex treatments are affordable. They're FDA approved. And in many cases, our patients pay nothing at all. Because insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, pay for them. If your pain just won't go away, you should call Rejuvenex today. Google reviews will tell you it's worth a try.
Few minutes left on Point Taken. Kristin and Steve on this Monday.
I mean, a few minutes left with Matt Smith.
Yes.
We still have an hour and a half
left of the show. Well, I'm going to be here. I got a lot of recording to do today. I'm here a longer day for me. I'm not complaining. You hard-working folks out there work a lot harder than I do, trust me. All right, Matt Smith. So you're always busy. You're doing stuff. I know, not just in your personal life with your kids and their soccer and all that stuff, but you are a journalist working in a market where we always have stuff to cover. What are you covering this week?
There's always something going on, isn't there? I think we will be watching Wednesday for the Tom Tiffany event when he is expected now to officially get in the race. It'll be curious to see what that does to this race. I mean, the speculation has been out there forever, right?
Yeah.
That he's going to get in. So, as some believe, will this catapult him to the top right away? He has openly talked about his conversations with President Trump and Trump's concerns just in terms of ensuring Republicans keep the House. So, it'll be curious to see how that plays out. And as the Democrats got in last week, just kind of how that all really starts to play out in terms of fundraising numbers, who's getting traction, who's not getting traction. And then watching these other candidates on the Democratic side, Josh Kaul, Mandela Barnes, Missy Hughes, when are those shoes going to drop? Are they going to get in? Are they not going to get in? As I think probably by October, right, we're going to see kind of what we think might be the solid field on both sides.
Is Kaul the most surprising? Because, I mean, obviously, he's won a statewide election, and that's a name that gets thrown around, but like no buzz at all that I've seen.
No, and his campaign, and he has been incredibly silent since the governor's announcement. So I think that, the thought was months ago that he would be the front runner if he got in. I don't know anymore, and I don't know if he's going to get in. They've kept that very close to the vest. So if he's a yes or no, I know that dictates other people's decisions on yes or no. So we'll kind of see how all of this plays out and what he ultimately decides.
Speaking of Tom Tiffany, so if and when he announces, are we going to be watching the race of who was running to replace him in Congress? That you mentioned that Trump wants to hold on to the House, but that's a pretty safe Republican seat, no matter who runs.
I think the question is when you look down ballot and the potential impact, if he is running for governor, the potential impact that could have on other races in Wisconsin. If you look at top of the ticket, and if there's some swing voters who may not like a Tom Tiffany, what does that do in a Derek Van Orden district, in a Brian Style district? So I think there's some residual effect to Tiffany being on the top of the ticket, not necessarily his House seat, because you're right, that is secure Republican, but it's kind of like a puzzle piece sometimes when you look at top of the ticket down.
All right, Matt Smith. We'll do it again next week. Political director at Channel 12 and host of the great show Up Front, available across the state, looking at politics in Wisconsin. We got local news with Connie Weber coming up. Before we get to any of that, here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Trump's promising an announcement today regarding autism. The Washington Post reports the administration is going to link Tylenol use during pregnancy to an increased risk of autism in children. David Mandel is a University of Pennsylvania psychiatry professor and an autism expert. He says,
I'm very concerned that women who experience fevers will elect not to treat that fever because we know the fever is associated with poor child outcomes.
Tylenol's manufacturer says science has not shown such a link. The new U.S. ambassador to the UN, Mike Waltz, appeared before the Security Council today, which met an emergency session over Russia's recent incursion into Estonian airspace. The main topic of this week's UN General Assembly expected to be Gaza, as multiple Western allies announced they'll recognize a Palestinian state. And the Federal Trade Commission taking Amazon to trial, saying it tricked people into signing up for Prime and made it hard to cancel. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. A man's been arrested for a violent assault on UW-Madison's campus, critically injuring the victim in what they call a targeted and unprovoked attack at a parking lot adjacent to Camp Randall Stadium at 2 a.m. on Saturday. Keith Jones faces possible charges of aggravated battery with intent to cause great bodily harm, robbery, violating probation. Late-night shooting leaves one person dead. Happened near 75th and Silver Spring just after 10 p.m. A victim aged teens to maybe 20 died at the scene. Police looking for the shooter. Crews have completed demolition of the long vacant former Northridge Mall on Milwaukee's northwest side. City's Department of City Development says the last steel beam was cut. The final structures pulled down Wednesday night. Milwaukee Business Journal reports the property could be marketed to developers as early as 2026. City leaders say the 58-acre site, now renamed Granville Station, could hold housing, corporate space, or community gathering areas. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market update. Dow is up 17 points, 46,333. The Nasdaq up 67 at 22,699. S&P 500 up 12 at 6,676. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 north at Howard Avenue. Right shoulder there is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy, warm and humid. Chance for afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms with a high of 78. That chance of storms continues overnight with the low 62. Still a chance of rain tomorrow, high 72. Just a slight chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday with highs both days around 68. And mostly sunny on Friday with a high of 72. Right now, Madison at 69, 66 in Green Bay, and 69 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1033.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Next December 2026, my wife Michelle and I are taking a Christmas trip that's been on our bucket list for more than a decade. Won't you come with us? Christmas on the Danube with Colette Tours. Beautiful river cruise to the most famous Christmas markets in Europe. December 2026 and a 2-night pre-trip extension to Prague. 6 nights on the beautiful MS Amadeus riverboat. 68 cabins, each with a great view. Stunning deck cafe, panorama bar. Will be in Vienna. The medieval castle and hillside towns of the walk Wachau Valley, a 200-year-old fairy tale town of Passau, Germany. John at WTMJ.com, JOHN at WTMJ.com. Send me an email. I send you the beautiful information, including pricing. Or join me at the WTMJ studios, where you can meet me and the folks from Colette on September 23rd at 6:30 downtown our studio, but you need to RSVP.
Let me show you the world. Come away with me.
John at WTMJ.com. Send me an email. I send you the info.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
Are you looking for ways to give back to your local community? Use volunteerwisconsin.org to find opportunities to volunteer your time with organizations making a difference near you. As we celebrate United Ways Month, we're also celebrating you. Visit volunteerwisconsin.org or get in touch with your local United Way or volunteer center to find out more about local opportunities to get involved. Volunteerwisconsin.org is hosted by United Way of Wisconsin and Serve Wisconsin. Paid for by United Way of Wisconsin.
All right, winding it up still on a Monday edition of Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. Kristin and Steve. Now, I'll ask you this question. I think I know the answer. You didn't watch the memorial service for Charlie Kirk yesterday. You've probably seen clips from it, right?
No, I was at your house watching the Packer game.
I know.
I watched watching the Packers implode.
Yeah, which was horrific and bad.
But even if I hadn't, I probably would have not watched. One, because a lot, like most big events these days, I think a lot of us always assume, like, well, I'll see the important parts clipped out across social media or in the news.
Yeah. I've seen a ton of them already.
Exactly what happened, right?
So they filled State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. I mean, there's only 63,000. There was like 73,000. There was apparently some accounts of people outside as well, getting it up to 100,000. I saw some of that. Overflow venue. White House Chief of Staff was there, Secretary of State, basically all the cabinet, J.D. Vance, President of the United States. Not sure about the Kirk family, like
his parents and siblings.
So that's sort of an unknown. But his wife, Erica Kirk, and I'm going to say this, and we're going to actually play a little bit from her. No one can imagine the tragedy of what that feels like to lose your husband in that shocking assassination that played out at Utah Valley University in Utah. So I give her great credit for being able to stand up there and talk. And she's obviously a woman of faith, which I have a lot of respect for. I thought her part was more like a memorial service, I would expect, right? So I will never speak ill of the dead, and I will never certainly criticize her because this is something she apparently wanted to do, along with the cooperation of the people that were there. Let's play a little bit of her, and then I want to play another piece.
I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us.
And I think that's exactly right. That's the message you should be talking about. That's what everyone should be talking about. Instead, we have people that are going around hate mongers, spreading this desire to create a civil war in this country. She didn't do that. She just actually spoke from her heart, from her faith. And again, I'll give her a tremendous amount of respect for being able to stand up there and do that, because I can't even imagine what that'd be like.
I mean,
put yourself in that situation.
I think about that every once in a while, like the people in my life who I might ever have to give a eulogy for. It's like, I don't know if I could, even as someone who does public speaking, it's like, I don't know if I could get up there and do that without losing it.
Yeah, and I've done some, and it's hard not to lose it, right?
Yeah.
Very difficult situation. So immense amount of respect for her. I said this Friday, and I got a little bit of hate text, a little hate mail, that I was concerned when I saw the flyer, or at least the digital version of that, where it was all about the speakers and not the person Charlie Kirk. And somebody said, "Well, how dare you?" basically, and whatever. It's not the first time I've had someone say, "How dare you?" But the reason I mentioned that, and we played this clip, is because she talks about not responding to hate with hate.
And got cheers for that.
Yes, some cheers. This next clip is from the President of the United States, Donald J.
In that
Trump.
private moment on his dying day, we find everything we need to know about who Charlie Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent. And I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
So on the very night that the widow of Charlie Kirk says the answer is not to hate, the President of the United States says the exact opposite. And it goes beyond that. I encourage fans of Donald Trump to watch the video. His embrace of the widow is creepy and weird. At some point, he's like bumping into her. The whole thing was awkward. And his part was not a memorial service. He made it a campaign speech. You can love this president if you want to, but the conduct of the president matters. How you speak, how you act, what you say, what you do, all matter. And in the very moment that his lovely widow, saying the exact right things the country needs, the president just throws it away like garbage and does the exact opposite. How does that make any sense to anybody, supporter or not? It doesn't make sense. I just thought it was weird. And there was more of it from people like Stephen Miller, it was essentially a Trump campaign rally disguised as a memorial service.
Well, and I asked you at the beginning of the show, and I would love for anyone who can answer the question, 855-616-1620, because I'm trying to think of the last private citizen that had this scale of a public memorial.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to ask I'm trying to find respectful ways to ask questions around the grandeur around his death without speaking ill of him. Because I understand that I was talking to a friend who is a young conservative, and him trying to explain what Charlie Kirk meant to him and his friends, and put it, basically on the scale of like what Rush Limbaugh did for a lot of conservatives in the 80s, right? As far as the influence of young people and their thoughts and stuff like that. So it's not anything as far as like what he built with Turning Points and the impact he had on the last election and all of this. But still, I think I know a lot of people who, until he died, didn't know who Charlie Kirk was.
Yeah.
And so it's more of how big this was, how many, the entire cabinet almost being there, and it not feeling, besides Erica Kirk's speech, like a memorial. Like, I saw footage of the parking lot afterwards.
Yeah.
And it looked like a tailgate.
Yeah.
There was just garbage left everywhere, merchandise being sold. And it just, I don't know. But I also am not here to tell people how to grieve, because he was not someone that like I would have turned to or would have attended the memorial, even if it had been like in Wisconsin. But it feels unlike anything we've ever seen for a private citizen to have this much government representation and publicity.
I can't think of
around.
somebody who has gotten this sort of reception after their death as a private citizen in this country. Maybe if you have an idea, just text us 855-616-1620. And I like Kristin just did, I would challenge you, because the story of Trump is most people who support Trump, they ignore the stuff they don't like, and I like his policies. Is basically the quick answer to that question. They just ignore all the the cheap behavior, the trashing of the Oval Office to make it look like a French whorehouse. They don't care about that stuff. Nobody cares about that. It's just I like his tax policies, or I like his border policy, whatever. And I get that. That's sometimes how the simpleness of politics is just that one thing that you like, and boom, that's all you need. You can ignore all this stuff. But I'll say it over and over again. I know we got to get the break here, Jazz. The conduct of a president matters. It should matter. And I have seen the erosion of individual responsibility and conduct in public, how people act on social media. It's sort of a carte blanche approval of bad behavior. When the president does it, well, if he does it, I can certainly mock someone openly on Twitter that I've never met before because of their politics. I don't like it. And Texter makes a great point. You know, MAGA's taken over the party for Republicans. And the only way it gets, in my word, better is if MAGA's not in that party. And you can disagree, and you can certainly do that on a text line, 855-616-1620. Mad respect for Erica Kirk. That was a very difficult thing to do after the assassination of her husband. But as far as the rest of it, it was cheap. It was a campaign rally. And to essentially counter the words of the widow by the president in the same presentation.
Well, and have people cheer for both.
Yeah.
Right?
Again, the hypocrisy of that. Cheers for both sides of a pretty simple argument, in my opinion. 855-616-1620, you want to weigh in. We got lots to get to today. I've got a really cool guest in the second hour. I'm excited about this. Great things happening in Beloit. I am geeked about this story because I've been to Beloit. My daughter used to work there. I think this is fantastic. And a surprising sort of maybe person that's doing it or family that's doing it. Yeah, we're going to get to that and a whole lot more on the show today. Thanks for listening. Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handle all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
There's no better place to catch the natural wonders of fall than Lake Geneva. Stroll a lakeshore path in a kaleidoscope of color. Explore winding rustic roads. Take a scenic boat tour or glide through a forest on a zip line. At night, stargaze from a historic observatory, cozy up to a campfire, or have a cocktail on the patio. Enjoy the seasonal bounty at orchards, wineries, and farms with flavors to savor. Plan your fall getaway now at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva. It's always been the place for fall fun.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
You know when that big online store has special days with ridiculously low prices?
Yeah.
Why doesn't Hasselus Mattress do that?
We do.
You do? When?
Every day.
Okay, good one. But really, when are the big discounts?
Like I said, every day. You know our showrooms are employee-free.
So I can give your mattresses a try.
With no pushy sales guy.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that allows us to sell Sealy Posturepedic, Beautyrest, and more for way less.
Give me numbers.
Our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Free next day delivery, too.
And you do this every day?
Yeah. Plus, through Monday, get a free box spring with every Sealy Posturepedic, Beautyrest, and more, or take an equal amount off an adjustable base.
Wow.
So I guess you could say now is a prime time to buy.
I see what you did there.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
You're not just a job number as a Sidex customer. They've been family-owned since 1988, and they treat you as part of their family. Upgrade and transform your current bathroom space with Sidex Windows Siding and Bath. They have seasoned design consultants with 10 to 30 years of experience. The owner, Joe, is honoring his dad's legacy with top-tier products and expert craftsmanship. It's Sidex, the best in the business. Get a free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ. Visit sidexremodel.com.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. He is Steve Scaffidi, and I had asked the question previously as far as what other private citizens' death or memorial seemed to be as big as what Charlie Kirk's was yesterday. And I had a couple people text in Kobe Bryant, which was a big deal. That was in 2020. And I'm pretty sure they filled the Staples Center, what was then the Staples Center.
Yeah.
But Trump would have been president at that point. I don't think Donald Trump went to his memorial.
I don't think so.
I don't think it was the entire presidential cabinet.
A lot of people mentioning
went.
Martin Luther King. I mean,
but he when Martin Luther King died, his popularity was low. Like his favorability was polling in like the 27% or something. People love to point that out as far as where he was in the public, like the public's opinion of him. It's very different than how we think of MLK today. And so I don't think he had like a state-sanctioned funeral, did he? I mean, obviously I wasn't alive.
Church service, probably a processional. A lot of people. I think there was a live broadcast of the actual service at that time. That's about it.
LBJ might have been there.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they obviously had been working together.
I'm sure there was a lot of elected
on the Civil Rights Act and stuff like that. But the Kobe Bryant thing, I think on scale and publicity feels similar. But as far as the amount of elected officials attending, I don't think is comparable.
To Steve and Kristin, I got to hear Trump's follow-up to Mrs. Kirk. I thought the crowd after Trump's comments were somewhat subdued or sounded like people weren't sure how to respond. Yeah, I got a sense of that, too, a little bit of like, it was just weird. You know, look, I always tell people, if you vote for Trump, that's fine. I have friends and family who voted for Trump. I respect the office of president, but I also want the office to be respected by the president. And when I saw something like this, it gave me a weird feeling. It wasn't appropriate. It's not a campaign rally, and they treated it like that from the flyer to the speeches and to the parking lot. It seemed like the election's over. Donald Trump's the president, duly elected. He'll be here for a while. We don't have to keep replaying the same scene over and over again. The awkwardness of it, the weirdness of it. Anyway, I don't want to belabor the point. I was impressed by his widow, Erica Kirk, and from all accounts, should do a fantastic job with his organization, and probably is already doing that work. So, it's just a weird. It's just a weird look for a memorial service, if that's what it really was. All right. After the break, I'm going to give some love to some folks who showed up in Oshkosh on Saturday. We did a live broadcast, Fox Road Travel Show with Rose Gray. We had a special guest who showed up. We'll tell you about that and some of the great things happening with Fox after this on Point Taken.
School's back in session. Kids have their backpacks, school supplies, and new clothes. But are you ready as a parent? Families are the single most important factor in a child's academic success. This year, get to know your child's teachers. Stay engaged with their learning. Don't be shy about asking questions along the way. Because as a parent, you are your child's first and most important teacher. Learn more about how City Forward Collective is helping families, students, and schools thrive at cityforwardcollective.org.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Does our Inspired Closets team make dreams come true?
Every day, Dan. From consultation to design to installation, the whole process is built around our clients.
Which is how we earn our 5-star reviews. It's our team that makes the difference.
Inspired Closets is more than just organization. It's an investment in you.
Get started today at inspiredclosets.com.
Inspired Closets Milwaukee, a wife and husband team.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family.
Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Start your journey now. Don't wait. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Schedule your free consultation to lose up to 1 pound of fat per day. No drugs, no injections, no exercise. It's safe, fast, and costs a fraction of those injections. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
The leader in the dugout, the skipper, the man who riles up the crew with his words of inspiration.
I mean, my old ass, is that what you're saying?
Yep, that's our guy. Brewers manager Pat Murphy joins Wisconsin's Morning News every Tuesday at 8:45 for Brewers 360.
We're a team that the other team's going to feel us. You know, you're not going to walk away from a series and not be felt. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
On Saturday, Kristin and I had a chance to do the Fox World Travel Show with Rose Brey. We had a special guest. Gene Miller showed up. How about that? He's always fun.
Gene.
Still popular. A lot of people had got pictures taken with him, and Gene looks fantastic. Retirement looks good on Gene Miller.
Now that he can sleep in.
I don't know if he's sleeping in this thing, but he's fit. He looks great.
All right, good for him.
And he's selling a Portugal trip, which I know that Rose was talking about on the show. And I'm doing my trip. But I want to say thanks to all
Cancun.
Cancun,
Still
yes.
spots available.
A few spots left. It's selling really well. 866-GO-FOX-GO. Winter come along with yours truly, Steve Scaffidi. Cancun, first week in February. Fantastic, all-inclusive, 5-star resort, Secrets Divine in Cancun. Direct flight from Milwaukee to Cancun, which is really cool. But I wanted to just take a moment to thank the people for coming out. There was like 800 people at this thing.
You told me that. I was like, oh, wow. I had no idea it was going to be that big.
The Oshkosh thing was cool because there was enough space for everybody. It's a big place. It was at the sort of the convention center. Their museum was all there. And the people were so nice and took pictures. It's sort of the weird thing when you do remotes. I think they expect when they're sitting there, they had like 75 to 100 people kind of assembled listening. They only really hear us because we have headphones on. We're speaking to microphones, and there's a delay. We're not broadcasting the actual show. So there's that weird dynamic. I did see some people have their smartphones up, so they're listening on delay, which is even more weird. I don't know how you figure that out other than just doing my idea for next year was to let's just do another show afterwards that we just talk to the audience.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, we've got all the stuff. We're just sitting there. Let's do it.
Just answer questions and do a panel.
Yeah, and then here's another cool thing. You know, one of the traditions of being a Jeep owner is you get the little ducks.
Duckies, yeah.
So I got one of the real, you've been ducked, left on I was so geeked when I got walked on they left it on my Jeep.
Was your first one?
The first real one, because people give you ducks. It actually says you've been ducked on it. Like I don't know where they get these from.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my first one of those.
And so it was just left anonymously.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
Sitting there waiting for you to return.
Yeah, the little pink one.
Was it like Christmas morning a little bit?
It was. I was very excited about it. Kathy said, "You're like a little kid, aren't you?" Anyway, so that was cool. But thanks to Rose, great Fox World. Their vacation travel showcase was amazing. And we talked about all kinds of cool stuff and what it was like to travel with me. And I guess, I know we got to get the break because Jazz is giving me the look. We have to tell people, Gene does his thing, I do my thing. We do trivia contests. We're going to do some live content for the podcast or the show when we're in Cancun. So if you want to go, I would sign up now, 866-GO-FOX-GO. I'm always confusing my numbers. It's easy to find. If you go on the Fox World Travel website, foxworldtravel.com, it's easy to find group travel. Cancun, February. All right, busy hour coming up. Hour 2 of Point Taken. Kristin, Steve, 620 WTMJ.
Pull up to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and shoot your shot at big wins for Sweet Ticket September. Play with your rewards card for entries. Score triple on drawing Thursdays. Win slam dunk prizes like cash, reward play, and tickets to see the Milwaukee Bucks in action. Sweet Ticket September. You ready for this? Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
For your fellow fanatics and your #1 fans. For your game day compatriots and your everyday companions. For your personal cheerleaders and your personal heroes. For the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Learn more at deltadentalwi.com today.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time Accunet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick Accunet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
The Brewers are soaking up the San Diego sunshine before October and taking out the Padres along the way.
This is driven out to right. It's hit well. Adele is back at the track. Bye-bye baseball!
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 8:05 on your home for the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11:01, we have 72 degrees, partly cloudy, warm and humid today with a chance of afternoon and evening showers and storms. High today 78. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. ACLU of Wisconsin petitions the state's high court to make it illegal to hold ICE detainees in Wisconsin jails. The lawsuit claims sheriffs from Walworth, Brown, Kenosha, Sauk, and Marathon counties are voluntarily holding people for an additional 48 hours after they should be released under state law. The extra hold time allows for immigration agents to get custody of individuals so they can be deported. The organization claims ICE sends detainers even for people with no criminal records or people who still have charges pending in Wisconsin courts. President Trump, speaking at Charlie Kirk's memorial service Sunday in Arizona, said he thinks they found an answer to autism and won't let it happen anymore. Supposedly, he'll announce a link between autism in children with the use of Tylenol or acetaminophen in pregnancy. But ABC's Elizabeth Schulze says there are no studies proving that the use of Tylenol carries autism risks for kids.
Researchers say that the rates of Tylenol use in pregnancy have actually gone down in recent years, even as autism rates have risen amid increased awareness of the disorder and also widening definition of the spectrum. The CDC does say that 1 out of every 31 8-year-olds had autism in 2022. That's compared with 1 out of every 150 children in the year 2000.
President's announcement on autism supposed to happen today at the White House. The UK, Canada, Australia, and Portugal this week expected to formally recognize a Palestinian state. ABC's Martha Raddatz says the U.S. and Israel opposed to that.
Families of the Israeli hostages seized in the October 7th massacre nearly 2 years ago say Palestine should not be recognized as a state without ending the war and bringing home their loved ones.
Formal recognition of a Palestinian state expected at the UN General Assembly this week in New York. A second person charged in a deadly pursuit crash in Milwaukee last week.
17-year-old Deshauna Eggerson was allegedly driving the stolen SUV that crashed into another car after running a red light, killing a 50-year-old woman and her 2 sons, ages 21 and 15. Eggerson now faces 9 felonies, including second-degree reckless homicide, driving without a license, and fleeing law enforcement. 19-year-old Trayvon Austin was in the passenger seat of the stolen car, allegedly pointing a gun at Eggerson while telling her not to stop for law enforcement. He faces 3 felony charges, including possession of a firearm by a delinquent. Jessica Gatso, WTMG News.
The Brewers clinched the NL Central Division title for the 3rd straight year. This comes despite a 5-1 loss to the Cardinals on Sunday. Brewers owner Mark Atanasio.
There's something special about this team. Saying Brewer Magic or Euchre Magic, whatever it is, it's a beautiful thing.
With the best record in baseball, Brewers won their 4th division title in the past 5 seasons. They are still looking to clinch the number 1 seed. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 7 points, NASDAQ up 62, S&P 500 up 10. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Come catch the final battle of the regular season when the Brewers host the Reds Friday, September 26th through Sunday, September 28th. We're celebrating the best fans in the game on Saturday, the 27th at Fan Appreciation Night, presented by Toyota. Plus, if you're one of the first 30,000 fans through the gates, you'll take home a Brewers tumbler giveaway too, presented by Quick Trip. Come close out the regular season with the crew. Get your seats today at brewers.com/tickets.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
You gotta get to Built Right today. Vince Vitrano here to tell you about Built Right's 97th anniversary mattress celebration. The one location saves you time and money, and they make it easy to shop and easy to buy. Built Right beats any big box, national or local chain store, department store, online retailer, warehouse club, or employee-free store because they have the guaranteed lowest prices. Built Right also has the best value, selection, and experienced team in Wisconsin. Over 60 models all on display. 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best mattress brands made in the USA. Heirloom, Gold Bond, Therapeutic, Restonic, and Schiffman. Built Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses. They can hold up to 600 pounds. Plus, Built Right offers free delivery and removal on mattress-only purchases of $7.99 or more. Built Right saves you money. Voted best place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right, 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Packers lost for the first time this season. Green Bay let a 10-point lead slip away in a 13-10 loss to the Cleveland Browns. Packers will return to the field next Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys on the road. Brewers couldn't secure a series win. Milwaukee lost to the St. Louis Cardinals 5-1 on the road. Brewers continue their road trip tonight against the San Diego Padres. Brewers did claim the NL Central crown, clinching its 3rd consecutive division title when the Chicago Cubs lost 1-0 to the Cincinnati Reds on Sunday. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Pretty quiet out there. We do have a disabled vehicle. It's off on the right shoulder, I-43 south at Holt Avenue. Otherwise, pretty typical drive times. 41, 45 south from Highway Q to the zoo, about a 15-minute drive. 94 north from Layton to the Market Interchange, about 7 minutes. Here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. A chance of afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. High today 78. That chance of storms continues overnight and into tomorrow. Overnight low 62. High tomorrow 72. Just a slight chance of rain both Wednesday and Thursday. Partly cloudy both days with highs both days around 68. Sunshine on Friday with a high of 72. 68 in Madison, 66 in Green Bay, 73 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Welcome back to the 11 o'clock hour of Point Taken. And it's Monday, so it's time to talk markets and economy with our friend Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management. And now, Dave, it feels like old news already, but last Wednesday, the U.S. Federal Reserve finally cut interest rates by 1/4 of a percentage point, which does not seem earth-shattering, but it is a big deal, right?
Well, the reason why it's a big deal is because it's a change of policy, right? And when interest rates and inflation go up, one of the Fed's tools is to keep interest rates high to slow down spending. I mean, that's the reason why they keep these rates high. Well, there's winners and losers in that way when you keep interest rates high. The winners are if you're a saver. I mean, you could go to a bank and get a CD that's 4 or 5%. That's pretty good without much risk at all. The downside, of course, is costs are higher. For inflation, that would be the cost to go to the grocery store to fill your tank and so on. But also it would be the opportunity to have something change direction. And that's really what the Federal Reserve was doing. Now, how they got there, as we all know, was sausage making, just berating the Federal Reserve chairman to do these things. And he had to look at in the rearview mirror and say, these are the facts and circumstances that we're going to make a decision on, Kristin. And one of the decisions that he was making was because inflation was coming down, it wasn't at their target. So they wanted to keep it up and get it down to 2%. And it's between 2 and 3%. At the same time, they started to see job openings start to kick up, and that was their concern.
Get my mic on. There we go. Dave Spano.
Hi, Steve. It's that one button. Push that button.
You think I know that after all this time? So I'm going to ask you a fun question first, then a serious question. So when in your group, the Annex folks, all the smart people that work there, when you see a rate cut, do you guys all like high five each other, or do you just like you don't know what the because there's always uncertainties, right?
Nah, well, I mean, there was some 95% chance that they were going to tell they.
So you already knew.
Yeah, we already know. I mean, the Fed is really good at telegraphing what they're going to do. You'll remember a couple of weeks ago, we go, is there a chance that it's going to be 50 basis points? And I said, unlikely. And in fact, you can look at, they're kind of like betting odds. It's called the poly market. And in the poly market, there was 90% chance that it was going to be a quarter point and less than 10% that it was going to be 50 basis points. And why would they not do that? Because it would suggest to the markets and to the economy that things were really much worse than what they anticipated. So it was pretty telegraphed what they were going to do. Are there high fives? There are high fives in this place every single day, bro.
Because you're working for Annex. You
got it. So much fun. Monday morning meetings, everybody was high-fiving today, and we had a bunch of anniversaries and birthdays, and we had a lot of fun this morning.
All right, so the serious part is they've done a quarter point, but they've hinted at more to come. Those are
as many as 4. Yeah,
monthly each month?
Well, they're saying right now October and then December. Okay. So those that the betting odds will see another quarter point in October and maybe another one in December. But in general, we're expecting some in Q1 of 26 as well. So the bond market is not really going along with that. The 10-year yield I'm looking right now is 4.14. So it's getting to, it's called equilibrium. And it's really what the market is doing and what the Fed is doing. So the Fed controls short-term rates, right? Overnight borrowing rates to the banks. They don't control the long rate. The economy, the markets control that. And so right now they're trying to lower the short-term rate and see what the market does. And then we get all these crazy things about inverted yield curves. But that is really what we're seeing right now. So it's good. It's good for equity markets and it's good for fixed income markets. And hopefully it's good for the housing market as well.
So Dave, this is kind of similar but kind of different. I don't know if you've seen both the Washington Post and Wall Street Journal over the weekend, well, today and over the weekend, kind of talking about like the two economies in the U.S. right now, and the fact that there are the folks who are, household is like over $250,000 a year, and then the people who are making less than that. And then that was from Wall Street Journal. Washington Post was talking about how electricity and rent and monthly bills going higher than the inflation rate. And so how do you kind of see what the Wall Street Journal said as far as there being two economies right now, depending on how much money you make?
Yeah, and there's no doubt I totally agree with that. In fact, you and I have talked about that. Is it an economic question or is it a social question, right? Mm-hmm. And it is a big question. And I think it's not going to get better in the short term, because what we're seeing right now is those who are employed and have money and have education, unfortunately, or fortunately, they're making more money. And so that divide, Kristin, is getting wider and wider. And so there's no doubt in my opinion that there's a bifurcation in this economy. So how do you fix that? Well, that's a whole social question that can go any which way you want it to go. But I do agree that that's happening. And I think that Mendoza line that you're using $250, I think you can bring it down to $100,000.
Really?
Yeah, I think you can lower that and say look who has. I mean, just look at the tax rates. So if you cut the 50% that pay a limited amount of income taxes, that is really what most, like the Wall Street Journal, has used as the Mendoza line. Who's paying income taxes and do we have this acceleration of tax rate to the top? Well, the argument is, they make more money, they're supposed to pay more money, so on and so forth. But that is right now a major social question, and I think it's going to get worse as AI kicks in.
Yeah.
And when AI kicks in and it removes a lot of the task jobs that could be removed, I do think it's going to be an issue. And how do you solve for that is really going to be the challenge.
All right, Dave Spano sticking around for one more segment on Point Taken on 640 WTMJ. After the break, less metrics on the economy? Well, one elected official is advocating for that. We'll get Dave's take after this on 620 WTMJ.
The Upswing with Jeff Sherman.
The historic crawler is what Greavy's is known for. There may be some people listening that don't know what a crawler is. Come on.
It's always the conversation with the crawler specifically. It's like, what experience do I want people to have? Do I want them to eat a donut and say, this is the best donut I ever had? Or do I want them to eat the crawler and say, like, oh, this is a crawler, this is really good, right?
Saturdays at 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Hey, it's 620 WTMJ's Kristin, Brey, and it's time to get your smile ready for all those special events and photos coming up this fall into the holiday time. So if you're in need of a new dentist, or maybe you moved to the area and you need to go see a new dentist, you need to check out my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Economwalk Dental Care. I recently had a checkup, and it turned out that I needed a crown. And, sometimes when you do that, you're like, oh, I have to have a 2-week waiting period. But no, at Dr. Michaels, they get your crown prepped and finished all in the same day, and you don't have to come back. So Dr. Michael understands your apprehension about going to the dentist. So whether you need a simple cleaning and exam or a more complex dental procedure, you can trust Dr. Michaels and Economwalk Dental to always make you feel as comfortable as possible and give you and your family an amazing smile. At Economwalk Dental Care, affordable quality dentistry is no longer a dream, it's the reality. Dr. Michaels' fantastic staff can help you out with a no-interest payment plan. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off any longer. Call and make an appointment today and start the holidays on a good note. Go see my dentist, Dr. James Michaels, at Economwalk Dental Care.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Dave Spano joining us on Point Taken, as it does every Monday. It's one of my favorite parts of the week. All right, Dave, so the President of the United States has asked, I guess, the SEC to end the requirement for companies to file quarterly earnings reports. I sort of put it under the banner of, do we really want less metrics on the economy? But I'm curious, because there's pros and cons. Warren Buffett is actually an advocate for the less earnings reports. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the history behind it is there's a lot of less companies that are going public. And part of this is because private equity is coming in. And the reason why they are taking companies private is because there is this onerous, oversight and some of the things that they have to do on a quarterly basis. And so every quarter, the idea is that companies are short-term, are myopic, and are saying we only have to live to the next quarter. But having been in many boardrooms, that's not been my history. So, why do you not want to do it? Because it's costly, number one, and number two, it's that it has the short-term mindset. The good news and why you do want to do it is transparency. And so you don't have an opportunity to guard against anything, to bury any bad news. So I'm always for more transparency than less transparency. Does quarterly meetings mean that you don't have to file a 10Q? Those are two different things, right? So you can file your 10Q so everyone knows what you're doing. But really, when I listen to quarterly earnings reports, it's not really for the math. It's really for what the management team is saying about going forward or why they missed or what's happening internally. that's really where you get the visibility, is from listening to the C-suite versus looking at the math.
All right, so you're pro quarterly earnings reports?
I like more transparency, Kristin. I just, I understand why people don't like it, but I oppose the idea of less transparency.
All right. Now, was there a market reaction today on the big news over the weekend being the H-1B visa fee going from $215 to $100,000 for new applicants? Obviously, this is going to be a big thing for tech, but did we see that respond at all in the market?
We haven't, but there's real data and then there's anecdotal data, right? And so my daughter goes to school in Boston, and there is a lot of international students that are flying around the Boston University campuses. And her concern, where a lot of people were trying to get in before it kicks in, or saying, can they stay? Should they extend their master's program or the PhD programs? And so that's the kind of the anecdotal thing, is what's really happening under the hood. But there really wasn't a major reaction by the economy, by the stock market. And maybe they haven't got through to it yet and maybe understood it. But right now, there hasn't been either an economic data point to it, but there certainly is anecdotal, and I've heard it not just from that situation, but from international students in general.
Do you think this is a good move? I mean, I obviously understand the argument as far as wanting to hire more American workers, but I mean, this is a big deal for companies that depend on international expertise, right?
Right. Yeah. But it goes both ways, right? And so that's the argument is, so some folks come over, pick a country, whatever, to start an argument. China. So China comes over here, the kids come here, they get educated, and then they go back to those countries with education. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, there's our debate, right? Is it a good thing that, for example, if it's not in tech, say it's in medical, and someone comes to and learns from a hospital in Boston and takes that back to Africa or whatever. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so, right? Mm-hmm. And because now that's better for humanity. But I can understand why people are coming over here, getting educated, and then going back and then using that against us. It's just, what lens do you want to be? Do you want to be a cynic, or do you want to be, more positive about what is happening when they go back?
I like the positive, Dave. You know that.
Yeah, so me too. Yeah. I'm always trying to find. Well, first of all, as you know, Steve, I try to give you both sides of the argument.
You
right?
You do.
And so people are smart and they're intelligent and they can make up their own minds. But everyone looks through this through their own lens, through their personal lens, right? Why? What's your political lens? What's your personal lens? What's your economic lens? And then they make up their own mind. But that's why I kind of lay off both sides. And I think both from the first question about what's happening with reporting to what's happening with these visas, I think you can find both sides of the argument.
All right. A question that somebody texted me last week, I think, when we were talking about the potential for rate cuts. Okay, so if that was the big story for a while, will they cut rates? President says, it could be a few points lower, whatever, blah, blah, blah. What's the next big thing that we're talking about?
Well, and it goes back to where we started at the beginning of the year. I said there's going to be a lot of change, and it's not. And I said, if you remember, I said, buckle up, Buttercup, because it's coming. And it was. And look what's happened. We've had a tax bill. We've had the tariff. We've had the tariff, threats. And then we said there's going to be Fed cuts. Now we've started to see that, and that's starting to get involved in the economy. Now we go to the year end. And when you get to the year end, there's a lot of generally good things that happen. Number one, the fourth quarter is generally good for the economy. And so people start to spend, they get into the holidays, they start to get a better change of attitude. And so right now, there's all of this money that's come back in from tariff revenue, from tax cuts, from Fed cuts. What do companies do with that? Do they use it for CapEx, capital expenditures? Do they pay down debt? Do they do M&A deals? We saw 4 new mergers this morning. Do they do buybacks of their own stock? Do they issue more dividends? So all of that capital moving through the movement of money can help investors. And so as we go into the fourth quarter, we're excited about what can happen. But flip to the other side, and there's some negativity as well. And it goes back to what I was saying. You have to have both sides of the argument. The other side of the argument is the U.S. government is headed for a shutdown again. Right? You've got Russia, who's certainly getting pretty ambitious near the NATO lines. That's cause for concern. And all of this chaotic new proposals that we get make CEOs uncomfortable about what to move forward. So make your Ben Franklin choice on what's positive and what's negative, and try to make the best decision. But there is certainly some things that are going to upset the market over the next 3 months.
And always have a plan, and the best way to get a plan when you're talking about your financial future is with Annex Wealth, annexwealth.com. And I did it years ago now, the Get Started button. I'm honestly, it takes you to where you need to be. You'll have the best in the business advising you. And I know it's not a commercial for Dave, but it is a commercial for Dave because I love the work they do. Dave Spano, always appreciate your wisdom and the fact that you're willing to share it with us every Monday.
All right, you guys, go Brew.
Go Brewers,
Go Brew!
yes. And how about those Packers? All right.
Bye,
we'll take a quick break.
ya.
See you, Dave. We'll take a quick break and wrap up the first half hour of the second hour of the program on 620 WTMJ.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Hey, it's WTNJ Steve Scaffidi for Avon. Somebody asked me, I was at a wedding Saturday, they asked me about Avon. I said, yeah, it works. You want to stop snoring? You want to stop tossing and turning every night? Do it. And actually an emailer also sent me an email, and I will get back to you. It works because they listen to what's ailing you when it comes to your sleep patterns and your sleep life. And it started with a 30-minute visit to Avon. I wasn't a spokesperson. I just was a client and a customer. They put me in these. They answered my questions. They did a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. Never looked back. Had a simple procedure, and now I don't snore. And my wife, Kathy, doesn't have to deal with me tossing and turning and all that stuff that make for a bad night sleep and a tired person in the morning. I don't have to deal with that anymore. I wake up rested and refreshed. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well and better can make your nights even better, go to advotknows.com and schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
Having fun on a Monday, Kristin?
I am having fun on a Monday. We're back to work.
It is a sort of a salve for the Packers' losses. You come back and just talk about interesting stuff with people like Dave Spano.
Realize there's bigger things than just the
There
Packers.
are bigger things, yeah. And as my wife Kathy sometimes reminds me, because she's a huge Packers fan, it is just one game in a regular season, and it's like not the end of the world.
Well, and also now it takes off that pressure of thinking that we're going to have an undefeated season.
Yes.
Right? So now we can just, everyone can get off their high horse of thinking that we're the best team in the NFL and now have to earn it and show up every week and not just
like the
take any
urgency.
game for granted.
And you know who they play next week? Dallas on Sunday night.
Can we please retire? I forgot which station and which announcers referred to Dallas yesterday as America's team.
No.
How has that not been retired
Yeah,
yet?
that's
They have not been
true.
America's team. Well, that was like a 90s relic, right? Like, why are we still doing that? They
It's-
haven't
it's
been
done.
good in a long time.
They haven't won a
There
championship
isn't like
in
a
20 plus
player
years.
on there
yeah.
that is like America's guy.
No.
Like, let's retire that.
Who is America's team?
I think the Packers are America's
They're
team.
the world's team, too.
Because I'm not telling anyone who's listening right now anything they don't know. But there is something truly special about the only professional sports team, right? It is the only professional sports team that is set up by like a nonprofit,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That cannot be sold for profit, that is owned by the team, that is owned by and just makes decisions based on what's best for the team, not what the owner billionaire wants. Like, there is something very special about that. And you might hate the Packers because you're a rival, but as far as the actual purity of how the team is run, I don't know how you can object to that. So I'm biased, but I think it is
yes.
America's team is the Packers.
Yes, I agree, although we are biased. Objective consumers of sports, they all identify Green Bay as like the mecca of football. They all identify Green Bay as one of their best experiences. And trust me, I've been to...
Everyone wants to play at Lambeau. They love playing at Lambeau.
Not just that. Their fans want to come to Lambeau because I've been to hundreds of games at Lambeau Field as a spectator, and I've met these people. One, they're almost always super nice because they spend a lot of money to get there, but they always appreciate the experience, and we're not idiots. You want to find idiots? Go up to Minnesota, the bird-killing dome up there, the big glass thing that looks like a Viking ship where all the birds smash into the glass and die, then just lay there.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
What kills more birds, that dome or the windmills?
I don't know. I don't know about the windmill thing.
Isn't that a whole thing? Isn't that they kill birds?
It's one of those Trump
the whales
campaign
hate them.
things. Yes, that and
the mental health of the whales is severely diminished.
I would think it would be hard to figure out the mental health of a whale, but I'm just speculating. Anyway, I was giving Vikings fans grief because at their game yesterday, they were playing the lowlights or highlights in their mind of the Packers' loss to their stadium during like the breaks. It's like when you win a championship, then you can tell us what to do in Green Bay. We have 13 of them, and we've done it, I think, 3 in a row a few times. We've won way more recently because you've never won one. We won in 2010. This is a team this year that could be a Super Bowl team. Most people say that. They lost the game, but let's see how it shakes out. They had to bring in a quarterback to play for them, for Pete's sakes. Stop with the nonsense. And their broadcaster, Paul Allen, is a certified lunatic. I said it. Loon. Trust me. Local news, Connie Weber, she's not a loon. Here's the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. vowed he would find the root cause to autism by September, the Trump administration today expected to release its findings in limited studies suggesting a possible link between the use of acetaminophen during pregnancy and autism. Researchers and medical experts are disputing a possible link. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze says the science is murky at best.
No known medical studies have proven that the use of Tylenol, known as acetaminophen, among pregnant women is a cause for autism. Some limited evidence suggests that it's associated with higher rates of neurological issues, but studies have been mixed.
In Florida, Ryan Ruth, who's representing himself in the attempted assassination trial against Donald Trump last year, rested his case today. Prosecutors wrapped up on Friday. Closing arguments now expected. Volatile storms on tap for parts of the Southwest after damaging storms outside of Dallas, Texas overnight. On Wall Street, stocks are mixed. This is ABC News.
Time 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. A man arrested for a violent assault on UW-Madison's campus. Police say the victim was critically injured in a targeted and unprovoked attack. It happened in a parking lot adjacent to Camp Randall Stadium at 2 a.m. Saturday. Suspect fled the scene. Police later found and arrested Keith Jones. He faces tentative charges of aggravated battery with intent to cause great bodily harm, robbery, and violating probation. In Elhorn, a child arrested for stealing a parent's gun. It was the parent who called to report their child broke into a locked bedroom and took the gun. Kids on social media indicated the student intended to bring the gun to school. Officers found the child and the gun, the child being referred to juvenile authorities. Elkhorn police don't believe there was a credible threat to the school. Highway in Germantown closed for storm sewer replacement work this week. Wisconsin 145 closed in both directions between Mequon Road and Division Road through Thursday. Local traffic will have access from the north and south, but 145 will be impassable at Crusader Court where the sewer is located. The work is weather dependent. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 34 points at 45,349. The Nasdaq up 130 at 22,760. S&P 500 is up 20 points at 6,685. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. A little bit of slowing I-43 South Brown Deer Road to downtown. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy, warm, humid. Chance for afternoon or evening showers or thunderstorms. High today 78. That chance of rain continuing overnight with a low 62. And again, a chance of showers tomorrow, high 62. Just a slight chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday with highs both days around 68. Then sunshine Friday with a high of 72. Madison at 68. Green Bay 66. Milwaukee 73 degrees. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 11:33.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Next December 2026, my wife Michelle and I are taking a Christmas trip that's been on our bucket list for more than a decade. Won't you come with us? Christmas on the Danube with Colette Tours. Beautiful river cruise to the most famous Christmas markets in Europe. December 2026 and a 2-night pre-trip extension to Prague. 6 nights on the beautiful MS Amadeus riverboat. 68 cabins, each with a great view. Stunning deck cafe, panorama bar. Will be in Vienna. The medieval castle and hillside towns of the Wachau Valley, a 200-year-old fairy tale town of Passau, Germany. John at WTMJ.com, JOHN at WTMJ.com. Send me an email. I send you the beautiful information, including pricing. Or join me at the WTMJ studios, where you can meet me and the folks from Colette on September 23rd at 6:30 downtown our studio, but you need to RSVP.
Let me show you the world. Come away with me.
John at WTMJ.com. Send me an email. I send you the info.
Stock up for less on work and home essentials with another great week of Fleet Farm deals. Like 40 pounds of KT Basic Blend Bird Food for just $16.99. And Diamond Crystal Iron Fighter Softener Salt for only $7.29 a bag. Plus, get a $25 Fleet Farm gift card free when you buy $100 worth of Keen, Carhartt, or Timberland Pro footwear. Count on Fleet Farm to deliver the goods at the best prices guaranteed. And find even more weekly deals at fleetfarm.com.
Make every day extraordinary with something special from Wisconsin. From artisan cheeses to fresh produce to maple syrup, the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection's Something Special from Wisconsin program is proud to work with member businesses that certify their Wisconsin-made and processed products. Look for the red and yellow sticker and visit somethingspecialfromwisconsin.com to find member businesses and products made with care, quality, and love. Sponsored by Wisconsin DATCP.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. He is Steve Scaffidi, and we're going to take a little bit of a break from politics and talk about what I think is an awesome story out of southern Wisconsin.
This is an awesome story.
I grew up in Madison. I grew up, Beloit was in our conference, so I remember playing basketball games and stuff down there.
My daughter worked in Beloit.
Your
for
daughter
the Beloit
worked
Snappers.
in Beloit. What I did not realize that there was at one point. Did you know that USA Today once ranked Beloit
I did know
as
that,
one
yes.
of the worst
I think I talked about that once.
cities to live in? I did not know that it had gotten to that point. But now there is a new show focused on a family and a name that you've probably heard of before, doing what they can to revitalize Beloit. So the show is called Betting on Beloit, and it's a home renovation and design series that's in Beloit, and it follows America's richest self-made woman, Wisconsin's own Diane Hendricks, and her daughter, Kanya Hendricks-Shue, as they work to basically breathe new life into Beloit. So joining us on the phone right now is Kanya Hendricks-Shue. Welcome to the show, Kanya.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
So how did this all start? Like, when was the first idea that you and your mom kind of looked at, what can we do to bolster Beloit, this city? Did you grow up in Beloit?
I grew up just outside of Beloit.
Okay.
But all of our family businesses and such were all, always located in Beloit. And that's kind of where the story starts, is because when my parents were young entrepreneurs and trying to start up these new small businesses, Beloit was the city that really got behind them. So that's where they opened their first small roofing business, and which eventually evolved into ABC Supply. So that's really, my childhood, everything in my entire life has always been very Beloit centric. And so it all, really just started with both my parents' passion to give back, to this community and their gratitude. And my mom, when you say when did it start, that's a hard question to answer because decades ago, really. And when my mom really got passionate about it and just doubled down was after that article that you just mentioned, when USA Today, ranked Beloit the worst city to live. That was just like a turning point. Like, okay, we're all in. Like, that is not, well, we didn't believe at that point that was a true statement for one, but that other people perceived it that way. For my mom especially, it was like, okay, we need to change this image, and Beloit's got a bad rap, and we need to turn that around.
And Kanya, I've seen it firsthand. My daughter used to work in Beloit, and I spent some time there actually last year. It's starting to take form, take shape. Now, everyone knows your parents' business plan, brilliantly, put together. The amazing success of ABC and their companies. What's the plan here, though? I mean, like you always have to have an idea, and then you have to sort of coalesce the people that are helping you. What was the plan to sort of on the ground do this for Beloit?
This neighborhood. Yeah. So, I mean, my background is construction and real estate. I've had my real estate license for, 30 years or something. And my husband and I used to had a building company. So, that's just my background, real estate and construction. My mom was on her way, just literally driving to work one morning and called me and said, this neighborhood by the college is so beautiful. It's so historic. And there's, half of these homes, well, maybe not half, but a lot of these homes are like in such a state of disrepair, and it's really pulling the whole neighborhood down. And it looks like they're vacant, and they're just continuing, in this trajectory. And she's like, I really think that we need to step in. And I said to her that, I was like, well, we have a construction company, which is called CCI, Corporate Contractors. And I was like, yeah, you should have CCI do that. That's great. And she's like, well, I think it needs more of a personal touch, and I'd really love to engage you with it. And I'd like, you to take the lead and, just really get your arms around this. And I was like, oh man, I already have 8 jobs. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm your girl. But she's like, no, I really, I trust you. And I really think that this is right. So anyway, I ended, ultimately, obviously went with it, and we started this whole process. And now I'm so glad that I did. I'm equally really passionate about, this neighborhood and Beloit as a whole and the whole revitalization story. And honestly, it's just been really fun for me because because she kind of handed me the keys there. She's funding this venture, but, I got to formulate my own team of who I was going to work with on these home renovations. I got to pick the homes, and go out and really ultimately look for the biggest eyesores in the neighborhood and the ones that could have the most impact. And now I love it. It's honestly everything that we do in the neighborhood and working on site and even now filming it and our camera crew and the production, it's the best part of my days. It's the fun part of my work life, 100%. So yeah, and we're, slowly seeing the changes. Now as we're doing more houses, we're seeing the neighborhood follow suit, other builders, contractors, even homeowners, taking a bit more pride in their homes. So I really feel like we're starting to feel that trickle effect, which is ultimately, what we hoped would happen.
So then, Kanya, so you're not technically flipping them because you're not trying to renovate them and then make a profit off of them. So who is the ideal buyer of the homes once they're finished?
Well, we are we are flipping them, but just not for hopefully one day we won't lose money on them. We do buy the homes, and then we take, like I said, the worst homes in the neighborhood, and then ultimately when we're done with them, they're the nicest homes in the neighborhood, and they're because our name's attached to it. It's not like we want to put Band-Aids on these things. We go all in, and they're really quite fabulous. I think I'm biased, but when they're all said and done, and ultimately then we do put all of them on the market and try to find the right buyer. And because our companies, we're really involved at housing and just trying to get people to live in Beloit. Beloit has, like you said, you're familiar with, the baseball team, and there's all these positive things happening here. But a lot of people still come into Beloit, use the restaurants, and now our new Henry Dorbaker's, the entertainment complex, and go to the baseball games. And all of that is exciting and great, but we're trying to get people to live here.
Got it.
So there's all this industry, but people tend to live in Janesville or Lake Geneva or even in Illinois. And so that's the whole purpose of even doing, we've got a lot of workforce housing and other things that the show doesn't really touch on that are kind of under our umbrella. But these are higher end homes at the end of the day. But, it's trying to get kind of those C-suite executives to live here and take root, doctors and executives, because when those people move in and live in Beloit, then like they tend to engage in the community, like get on boards, take more leadership and just more engagement in Beloit. So that's like the deeper mission here, is to get really community-minded people in these homes, to really get roots in Beloit.
So this is your second run now on FYI Network, betting on Beloit. What's different season 2 versus season 1?
It's not actually a second season yet. So we're right now, season 1 is still what's airing. So it aired on A&E, and that run is done. Although you can still stream the whole series on the A&E app. But now the second live cable run is going right now on FYI Network, which is a sister network of A&E.
Beautiful.
But actually, this Wednesday is the finale episode at 7 p.m. Central. So then it will be off cable for now, but you'll be able to stream it.
And I hear you're prominently featured, so your newfound stardom is part of the story as well.
I don't know about that, but I am getting recognized in Beloit
there
a lot.
You go.
Hey.
That works.
No, I wasn't looking for that, but I'm too old. I'm too old to be seeking the spotlight right now. But it's fun. Like, everyone's super engaging, like, in the community, and I feel like, I don't know. Honestly, I've met so many people, through this process, locally and other places, which has been awesome.
Well, thanks for doing it. I love the story because I spent some time in Beloit.
Great.
It's a great city.
The show is called Betty and Beloit. She is Kanya Hendricks-Shue. Thank you so much for spending time with us today, and good luck as the renovations continue.
Yes, thank you. Thank you both. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. We'll be back after this with more Point Taken.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time Accunet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick Accunet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Milwaukee Weight Loss. I was at a wedding, as I said, Saturday, about 300 people, and everyone goes, wow, you lost some weight. We don't have Fat Steve anymore. I said, yeah, that guy's gone. And I've actually lost weight and maintained the weight. That's the more important part of the story. Lots of ways to lose weight. They have the shots and all the gimmicky stuff, meals, bars, shakes. But this is a program that sort of resets your metabolism. Doctor developed a natural and helped thousands of people just like me, and probably you as well, lose up to 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 8 weeks. And I'm back in reduction phase because I want to lose a few more pounds before the end of the year. Not hard, not difficult. You have the willpower to do it because I did it. And I'm not the easiest guy to convince about anything, but this worked for me and it can work for you. It's real simple. Take control of your own life, your own weight, stop the yo-yo stuff, and contact MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com today. You can even call. It's even easier. And I'll go slow. 262-393-2334. One more time. 262-393-2334. Or just go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Keep
the comfort in and the weather out with beautiful new windows and doors from Siding Unlimited. For ideas, go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
Like a dance mix coming in hot on the show.
Is this Kesha?
She the one with the dollar sign in her? Yeah. No, she's probably making a lot of money, including from us. TikTok is not something I spent a lot of time talking about, but I saw there was some news, so I thought we threw it in the outline. So basically, the president, he was talking to Chinese leader Xi, or whatever the heck, Xi, Xi Jinping, on Friday about this TikTok thing. The whole thing is we got to pry it away from ByteDance and make it an American entity so that they don't.
Well, not all of TikTok.
Just the American part.
The part where Americans can use it has to be a separate company.
And supposedly, so we can control the algorithm so the Chinese can't access our data. That's like the whole story, right?
Yeah.
So they've been working with people like Larry Ellison of Oracle and some other really rich dudes,
well,
billionaires.
Oracle was already storing a lot of the data from the current iteration of TikTok.
So I mean, when you're whatever they create is going to be like some Americanized version of TikTok. So you play in that arena. I don't. What do you think about this stuff?
I think I will not be on TikTok for much longer.
That's it.
I mean, I was already. This continues over from last week, as far as I'm going through my own personal decisions, as far as what platforms do I want to be on? It's a weird time. It's a weird time in general, because I think we're also watching, and this is not just the Jimmy Kimmel aspect. I am more interested in the other side of that story, as far as the consolidation of our media and the repercussions of that, of just less and less owners of all of our media that we watch on our phones or listen to through podcasts and stuff. And then there's independent media. And I've always been a strong proponent of what social media, like the barriers to entry that were lowered because of social media. And there is Substack and there is Medium, which people are maybe remembering for the first time today because of Bill Barron. But there's also then these platforms exist, and there's people getting very, very wealthy off of these platforms and are playing nice with whatever administration is in office to further their own bottom line. Like, all of these companies right now are trying to vie for who's going to own the electricity as they try to feed the beast of what AI models are going to be and how they actually have enough energy to do that. Like, it all just feels like, I don't know, the where to live and do stuff on any media platform feels like a weird time. And so, specifically with TikTok, I'm like, this doesn't seem good. This doesn't seem like a new place that I have to re-engage with, because it just seems like there's a lot of rich guys who are getting involved in a way to monetize and capitalize off of this, and then potentially have the U.S. government have input on what the algorithm is, which just feels like a propaganda machine.
Yeah, people asked me about this actually at the wedding. We were sitting around at one of the tables after the ceremony and stuff, and it's like, control your experience. I've done that. It's much preferable. I will, if I see something and you're coming at me, I will first identify you as a troll. I will tell you're a troll, and then I will block you, and then I'll never have to see your nonsense again. And 5 to 10% of the plus bots control social media. And it's stupid, it's dumb, it's evil. I'm not playing that game. And at some point, if I can't control it anymore, then I'm off.
Did you see all the people realizing that the bots of the same message getting posted again and again? It's like, oh, I was a lifelong Democrat.
Sure.
I gave a chance and watched some Charlie. And it's like thousands of these messages that they're exactly the same, copy and paste.
Do not trust any source you don't know personally. It's all nonsense. Trust me on that. Quick break.
All types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Jeff Zergabel and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Does our Inspired Closets team make dreams come true?
Every day, Dan. From consultation to design to installation, the whole process is built around our clients.
Which is how we earn our 5-star reviews. It's our team that makes the difference.
Inspired Closets is more than just organization. It's an investment in you.
Get started today at inspiredclosets.com.
Inspired Closets Milwaukee, a wife and husband team.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
For your fellow fanatics and your #1 fans. For your game day compatriots and your everyday companions. For your personal cheerleaders and your personal heroes. For the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Learn more at deltadentalwi.com today.
If you're attending the Holy Hill Arts and Crafts Fair this Saturday, have lunch or dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. All dinners are buy one, get one free, starting at 3 p.m. Call and reserve your table. Google the Fox and Hounds Restaurant.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, great show. Thanks for all the nice feedback and the comments. The text line was spinning today. Somebody said the Dow's up. I hope that's the case. I haven't looked recently, but always good news. We talked to Dave Spano today. How about that Beloit thing? Betting on Beloit or whatever. What was that name of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Anytime I'm a big fan of like renewing things. So if you have a city that's showing its age, everybody who lives there or potentially want to live there, everybody step up and help out. Why would you want a city like Beloit, a large city in the state, to not succeed and look great? And I love the fact that the Hendricks family's jumping in full speed ahead, and they're getting some little attention for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun little... Is that a reality show you would actually watch?
I love any kind of home improvement show.
Okay, so you watch like HGTV type shows.
Yeah. Oh, so you're trying
you
to
watch
attack me?
cooking shows?
Not much, no.
Okay.
I don't cook.
So out of the reality TV shows...
You're trying to...
No, I'm not trying to pin you on anything. I'm trying to get clarification.
Right. Yes, I watched the home improvement show.
That the home improvement shows...
Magnolia Network is a big one.
I've never heard of that before. But those are ones where you're like, oh, I like the before and after of how they renovate things.
The show from Maine.
But that is a reality show, just so you're aware.
The ones I like are okay. All the other ones are nonsense. Like that Housewives show, they should just call that Housewives That Are Mentally Ill, because that's what the show is. I said it out loud.
I'm pretty sure the Magnolia Network.
I feel like that put that on your grave. It's okay if I like it. But if I don't like it, it's not okay.
That's what I live by. All right, we got a break. Sorry, we got a break. Kristin, Steve, Point Taken. News is next. And then midday.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable